I want to talk about fat burners. A lot of people are always asking me what the best fat burners are on the market are. And while there's a lot of effective formulas out there, my personal philosophy is one of non-stimulant. I believe that stimulants stress the body out. I believe that stress leads to high cortisol levels. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone in the body that causes muscle breakdown, immune system suppression. It causes deposition of abdominal body fat. I don't think they're good for you. It raises anxiety level. It raises blood pressure, increases heart rate. These are things that most of us don't want. And most people who need to lose weight, body fat specifically, don't need these elevations to occur. So in my mind, if you need a little pick-me-up before you work out, drink a cup of coffee, have a diet soda. That's enough. So my philosophy when it comes to burning fat is derived at supplements that will basically target certain areas of the muscle cell, certain areas of the fat cell that will directly mobilize fat, okay? And this is a different approach than most supplement companies out there take. I pride myself in this approach. I believe it's a pure approach to burning stored body fat. Having said that, let's talk about my two formulas. I produce a formula known as Lipolyze, which is my daytime fat burner, and SOMALYZE, which is my nighttime fat burner and sleep aid. These two formulas are unique. Once again, there's no stimulants in them. And number two, they work by very unique mechanisms. Let's talk about Lipolyze, the daytime fat burner. The recommended dosage of Lipolyze, by the way, is one pill anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day, always taken with food. The way these fat burners work essentially is by wasting calories. They waste energy in the body. They trick the body into burning calories. And how do they do that? Well, there's a process known as uncoupling, okay? And what uncoupling essentially is it's basically causing the cell to waste energy. A good analogy I give people is if you poke a hole in the gas tank of your car and the car leaks gas, the car will still run, but it gets very bad gas mileage. Because it gets bad gas mileage and it can't go as far on a tank of gas, you have to fill the tank up very often. That's analogous to what goes on in the muscle cell or the fat cell. When energy is leaking from the muscle cells, the cells have to oxidize or burn more fat to make up for this lost energy. It's a great way. We're basically tricking the cells into burning more stored body fat or more fatty acids. And that's the key here. Fat burners want to trick the body into burning more stored fat. They don't want to overstimulate the body and amp up the metabolism that way because of all the negative ramifications that occur with that. Well, Lipolyze's main two ingredients that are very, very potent, or actually has 3 probably very potent ingredients. One being OEA, okay, oleoethanolamide, which is got a number of different functions in the body. It's actually derived from olive oil, believe it or not, and it causes the PPR receptors or PPAR receptors to when you stimulate these things, it causes them to liberate body fat. Okay, so what these OEA molecules do is stimulate these receptors and cause stored body fat to be liberated. Another great thing they do is they lower cholesterol levels and they lower triglyceride levels, which is good from a health ramification. Probably the most important thing that this thing does, and a lot of women are going to like this, is it suppresses your appetite. When you blunt your appetite a little bit while you're dieting, it makes it that much easier, okay, to get through the diet. Let's face it, appetite is the main reason why most people fail in their diet. They can't stand the fact that they're hungry and they wind up eating too much. So this is a great ingredient. This ingredient is not only in Lipolyze, it's also in SOMALYZE, so it's great at night when you can't eat anything at bedtime and your appetite's a little blunted, it helps you sleep. Another, probably the most potent ingredient in Lipolyze is known as T2, or 3,5-diiodothyronine. This is a thyroid metabolite, okay, found in the food supply, so we can luckily sell it legally. When we think of thyroid hormone, most of us think of T4 or thyroxine, which is actually an inactive thyroid hormone that's produced by the thyroid gland in your neck here. The T4 ultimately gets converted into T3. Which is a hormone that most of us thought was the active thyroid hormone. But it turns out there's a metabolite of T3 known as T2, which is in the Lipolyze formula, that has purely fat-burning effects. A lot of people think of thyroid hormone, they're afraid because they say, well, if you take thyroid hormone, it could burn muscle, it can burn carbohydrates, it can burn fat. You really don't know where it's coming from. But the T2 metabolite works exclusively on fat mobilization. And the way it does it is through this uncoupling reaction that I just talked about a little earlier. So it's essentially a very pure fat burner. It burns exclusively fat, and it has very, very few side effects, especially if you take it in the recommended dose of 3 to 5 pills per day. And this is probably going to be the most exciting ingredient to hit the market as of late. This is a new formulation for me. Lipolyze Evolved contains T2. The original formula didn't. Also, Lipolyze Evolved contains OEA, and the original formula didn't. I think a lot of you are going to see phenomenal results from this with very few anxiety or any kind of side effects whatsoever. Another very potent ingredient in Lipolyze is green tea extract. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, green tea has a lot of caffeine in it. I thought you said your formulas are stimulant-free. Well, we don't use the green tea. We use the green tea extract. The extract is devoid of caffeine, and it has just direct fat mobilizing effects. I know Oprah Winfrey is a big advocate of green tea extract, and we put this in the formula to help the formula facilitate fat loss. Another great addition to the product is propionyl L-carnitine, which is a form of L-carnitine that helps mobilize fat, into the mitochondria of the muscle cells where it can be burned as energy. And this does it predominantly, or I should say not even exclusively, but it does it preferentially is the word I'm looking for, in the skeletal muscle cells, which is the cells that we're using, in the gym, A lot of the other forms of L-carnitine don't do that. Propionyl L-carnitine is the most specific to skeletal muscle, and that's why it's included in this formula. There's also some other ingredients. Glucosterones are in here, which is an Ayurvedic Indian herb that helps keep your thyroid functioning properly. Cyclic AMP, which also helps raise energy levels while you're working out. So, and in a non-stimulant fashion. Lipolyze is an ideal formula, having T2, OEA, green tea extract with the support ingredients, propionyl L-carnitine, glucosterones, and cyclic AMP. Give it a shot. 3 to 5 pills a day, 1 pill with each meal. I think you're going to see some phenomenal results. Now, let's talk a little bit about SOMALYZE. SOMALYZE is the nighttime version of this formula. The reason I was able to create a nighttime fat burner is because my fat burners have no stimulants in them. But what I always found that worked very well to help me sleep at night, and let's face it, if you don't sleep, you don't recover. If you don't recover, you don't retain the muscle mass you want, you don't rebuild the muscle you want, and ultimately you don't burn fat. People who don't sleep don't burn fat that much. And people who don't sleep also are hungrier all the time because it raises the levels of hormones that stimulate appetite. So sleep is vitally important to the recovery and fat burning process. Having said that, I've included 2 other ingredients in SOMALYZE that are not in Lipolyze, specifically melatonin, which is a hormone produced by the pineal gland in your brain. As we get older and as we age, the production of melatonin decreases. Melatonin not only will help you sleep better at night, giving you a much more restful night's sleep, keeping you in REM sleep and a deeper sleep for much longer periods of time, but it also happens to be a phenomenal antioxidant, so it actually will help your body recover from the workouts that you had during the day. Most people who take melatonin, who have trouble sleeping, I should say, at night, and take melatonin, it cures their sleep problems. And it's a natural way to do this. You're not taking any kind of knockout pills like Xanax or Valium or Ambien. This is a very natural way to fall asleep at night. You're replacing a hormone that, as we age, decreases in the body. Another phenomenal ingredient is GABA. GABA is an amino acid derivative that acts as a relaxation neurotransmitter in the brain. Got to remember, in the brain, there's excitatory transmitters that make you more awake, and then there's relaxation neurotransmitters that help you fall asleep or relax. When you take, muscle relaxants like Vicodin, or I should say muscle relaxants like Xanax or Valium, what they basically do is stimulate this receptor, this GABA receptor in your brain, and they cause relaxation. Well, GABA does it in a very natural way. By taking the amino acid directly, it'll cross the blood-brain barrier and will stimulate these GABA receptors, and you'll feel relaxed. And you'll feel all the anxiety in your body will be gone, and you'll be able to fall asleep in a much more comfortable way and natural way. Another great thing about GABA is that it raises growth hormone levels while you sleep. And all of us know that growth hormone is a phenomenal fat-burning hormone, and it's phenomenal for muscle recovery. And that's the name of the game here. We're trying to recover muscle while burning body fat. Remember, cortisol levels, or the catabolic hormone cortisol, is highest in the body when our bodies are anxious or we don't get enough sleep. So sleep is very important to the fat burning process. So the addition of melatonin and the addition of GABA to the SOMALYZE formula, to the fat burning formula, will enable you not only to burn fat at night, but also sleep and have a very restful night's sleep. In addition, the fat burning ingredients that we've included in the SOMALYZE formulation, OEA for appetite suppression and additional fat burning, and propionyl carnitine for fat transport, and a couple other interesting ingredients that also help facilitate the fat burning process. So we have two ideal fat burning formulas, SOMALYZE and Lipolyze. Lipolyze being your daytime, SOMALYZE being your nighttime, to meet your fat burning needs 24 hours a day. I challenge you, I ask you to try them and give me your feedback.